to start, you're going to need a Sous Vide wand, which this brand is a Nova. It's with Bluetooth capability, so you can actually connect your phone to it so you can monitor temperature. To have a proper kit, we've got this Cambro Cam Square container, which these are great for anything. If you want to brine a turkey, you want to store ingredients, you can do whatever you want. We filled this up with around 8 quarts of water. We also have a lid that goes with it, and here I have cut a hole right here in it with a little hole poked in to let steam escape, but this will allow the wand to simply set right here, and it allows water to stay in the container. And because as the sous vide cooks, there's evaporation, so you'll lose water as it cooks. Having this lid will keep the water contained so that you're not losing water as you cook. So the other thing you'll need are these nice little grates, and so these will go in right here. They'll just go right down to the bottom. And so what these do is it allows your product to sit on top of the grates and allows water to circulate underneath the product. You want water to circulate all around the product while it's cooking. So you'll have that. So once we've gotten that, we put our lid on over here. We will plug our center wand right there. You can see it sits right there. We will plug this in. And so we are going to be making pork tenderloin today. So for sous vide, you can vacuum pack any sort of meat as long as it's vacuum sealed. Sous vide is French for under vacuum. So what this will do is it will keep any air from getting into the product, and it allows the product to kind of sink into the water, because you don't want the product to float up to the top. It's not going to cook evenly that way. So the great thing about this piece of meat is that it's already vacuum packed. So if you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can simply just go to your grocery. I found this in the deli and the meat section, and it's already sealed, already done for you. So what we're going to do is with pork, we can set this to, we're going to do this as a nice medium setting. So we are going to set our Anova wand to, we are going to set that to 140 degrees. So we want this to get to 140 degrees. So I'm just going to move that up. And then once that's there, we're going to hit the little start button. And so you can see the water is going to start circulating down here. So we will let that get up to temperature, and then we will put our meat in, and we'll be ready to cook. So while this is getting up to temperature, allow me to kind of give you some of the benefits of sous vide. You may be asking, why do I need a sous vide? Well, one of the main benefits for sous vide is that it provides a nice even temperature throughout the meat while it's cooking. So typically when you're cooking in an oven or when you're cooking in a skillet, you're applying high heat to the product to get it cooked to a safe internal temperature. What this will do is it keeps it at the same temperature, and over time, because you're cooking it for a longer period of time, it essentially pasteurizes the meat. So any of that kind of nasty bacteria that you might find, especially with cuts like pork and chicken, this will take care of it. This will eliminate that bacteria. And what it does is it allows you to eat meats like pork, like chicken, at a lower temperature. So it's not overcooked. Because typically with pork, if you have like a pork tenderloin, like a lot of times it's dry, just because you have to overcook it. So with this, you're gonna have moist, juicy pork here. That's just gonna be, it really will open up your eyes as to what you can do with meats like that, where you don't have to overcook it anymore. Now, if you don't have a vacuum sealer, that's no problem. You can simply use a plastic freezer bag and it'll work just fine. What you'll have to do is you'll put your product in the plastic bag. You'll seal it up to like just a little corner, because you want to leave some air in. And then as you lower the product into the water, you're going to do it slowly. And what it does is allows that air to escape out of the bag. And so it basically creates its own vacuum. So once you get to the very tip of the water, you're going to finish sealing the bag, and the bag should just drop right to the bottom. There should be no air left in there. So you know, whether you have a vacuum sealer or whether you don't, it's no problem. You can still sous vide. So that's the beauty of it. It's really easy to do. Okay, so we're up to our temperature of 140 degrees. So now we are ready to put this nice pork tenderloin right into our water bath. So we are going to open up our lid, slide it right in there, and make sure you have enough room there. So, and it is hot, so just be very careful. Actually, we're going to do it this way so we don't get in the way. There we go. So you can see it'll drop right down. Close up your lid. So with pork tenderloin, it's going to take actually it's surprisingly short. It's going to be about an hour. But the thing about sous vide that's great is that it's going to stay at that internal temperature. So like if you have to go to work or go run errands, like you're not going to overcook this. It's going to stay the same temperature no matter how long it's in there. So I would say probably between 1 and 2 hours, probably a good, you know, rule of thumb on pork tenderloin. If you're doing a bigger roast, you can do it up to 24 hours. I've seen even some do 36 hours. And what that does, it helps break down some of the tough protein, some of the, what would you call it, the tough muscles that are in like, you know, more gristly type meats such as a roast. Breaks it down so it just becomes a real soft, tender piece of meat. So, but for this, we're gonna give it an hour, 2 hours, and then we'll be back and we'll finish it up. All right, so our pork is done. It's had a couple hours in the water bath, so we should be ready to take it out. So you're just gonna be sure to use tongs because it is still pretty hot. So just make sure you get it out and then just get it onto your cutting board. And we'll get in there and we'll open it up. So once it's out, we're gonna let it sit for just a little bit, just so that it can cool down just a little bit, because there's still gonna be a lot of juice coming out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this on our electric griddle, because we wanna get a little bit of browning on the end. It doesn't look the most appetizing when you take it out. Completely optional if you do want to just serve it as is. This is ready to go, but typically you want to give it a little bit of a nice sear, just for presentation, and also just a, you know, a little brown doesn't hurt anything. So we'll do that here once we get this all cleaned up. Okay, so before we put this on our griddle, we need to remove all the moisture that's kind of leaked out of our pork. This is just so that when we do put it on the griddle, it will have a chance to brown properly. So we're just gonna take paper towels and we're just gonna kind of pat dry till we can get all that moisture removed. All right, so I have added just a little bit of olive oil to this griddle, and we've gotten it up to about 425. So you want this to be very hot, because this is gonna be a very quick sear. You don't want your meat to be on there no longer than a minute or two, because obviously you don't want to undo all the work that the sous vide did to create that even temperature. So we're just going to get it a nice brown on it, and then we are going to serve it. So we're going to set this down here. So we will let that do its thing. All right, now we are ready to cut into this. So you can see there's a nice little bit of pink right in there. Look how it goes wall to wall from right here to here. You can see it's the same color pink. So, and then you can just kind of see the juices coming out of it there. But this is really what sous vide brings. I mean, even all the way through. And like I said, it opens up your white meat to kind of something you don't really get to try very often, since you have to overcook it. So, but yeah, that's pork tenderloin in the sous vide. You can learn more by going to our website, www.centralrestaurant.com, and check out our resource center, and also check out any of our products online.